The following program is brought to you by the Internet Broadcasting Organization. Welcome to Let's Talk Business Tampa Bay, a live interactive TV show where you can receive help for your business and also participate in on-air brainstorming sessions to help others in their business. And now, your hosts, Carl Lucci and Walt Morey.
Well, good evening. I'm Walt Morey, and I'm a business advisor, and I provide advice, guidance, and mentoring to small, medium-sized businesses and business coaching for sole proprietors. The name of my company is Core Business Solutions. And I'm here tonight, as we are every week, with my friend and cohort and other things we won't mention. Just kidding. Carl Lucci, he's with Success Builders. His company is Success Builders, and he's a business consultant. So I'm going to turn the show over to him. He has a special guest with him tonight. And Carl, take it away.
Okay. Good evening. I'm here this evening with Jill Hazeltine from Deliberate Nation. And as a business consultant, I always tell everybody they need to be very distinct in their business or they'll become extinct in their business. And I got to tell you, Jill, you'll be hearing about Jill here in a second, she has really taken that to the nth degree. She's very distinct about what she does. She's carved out a niche and she's very professional at it. And welcome, Jill. Appreciate you coming.
Nice being here.
First of all, I want you to tell us a little bit about, tell us about your background and how you got into the business and
Very good. Okay. Well, in my business with DeliberateNation.com, I do motivational speaking as well as individual coaching. So the motivational speaking is all based on the idea of making deliberate decisions. And you'll see that on the website. You'll see what deliberate decisions are all about. And I've been speaking for quite a while, but I formalized what I do now in 2009, and I love it. I wish I could do it every single day, and someday I will.
Okay, great. So how did you come up with the name DeliberateNation.com?
Okay. Well, Deliberate Nation stems from deliberate decisions. What I noticed is when I met people and I talked about their goals or I talked about their dreams, they would say, well, someday I hope to. Well, someday I will. So I see them maybe 6 months to a year later and they say, well, I ask them, how you doing? What's going on? Well, that's someday I'll do that. And I thought, well, what will it take to get them to actually get to that someday? Because I don't see it on the calendar anywhere. I don't see where someday falls before or after September. It's not there. So they have to be doing something deliberate. So that's why I came with that name, Deliberate Decisions and Becoming a Deliberate Nation.
Okay. So I understand what you're saying about the Deliberate Nation. I'm not sure I understand what you mean by deliberate decisions yet, but I'm sure we'll get to that.
Okay.
What I'm trying to figure out is what is your goal with Deliberate Nation? I mean, what are you trying to accomplish or try to get people to understand?
Well, I made it more global. I didn't want to stick with just making deliberate decisions. I wanted to make it more global. And the whole idea of being deliberate is not waiting for something to happen to you or for you. Not any kind of, well, if someone would just, or boy, if they could do that, or it's almost like a reverse of blaming. If they would do that, then of course I would be much better. And the whole idea is to be deliberate and go after it. Do what you want to do, set those goals, and then be deliberate about achieving them.
Okay. I noticed on your website you've kind of got a tagline on there. It's deliberate decisions determine destiny.
Right.
Is that what it is?
Right.
Okay. Can you tell us a little bit about that? I mean, what does that tagline mean?
Sure. Deliberate decisions determine destiny. What that means is when you make deliberate decisions and you act on those decisions, what you want slowly happens. It comes true because you're being deliberate about it. If I say I'm going to do this and I take steps to do that, look what happens. There it is. I've done it. I've achieved what I wanted to do. So my deliberate decisions with my action make it a deliberate decision that determines where I want to go. Because if you think about it, would you ever let somebody take home a paycheck that you earned? Would you ever let somebody fill out your dream job interview? No. You would do it yourself because it's for you. You would you would want to do that. But sometimes people are so reserved and they wait and they say, well, maybe next time. And that, I call them next time decision makers. Next time I'll apply for that job. Next time I'll talk to them. Next time I'll take that training. But when you're deliberate, you say, I'm going to do it. Draw a line in the sand, and a lot of times I ask people to say it out loud. Tell me what you're going to do. Say it out loud. When you speak it into the air, it becomes a little bit more true. Share it with somebody that you trust. It becomes a little bit more true. It makes you easier for you to accomplish it.
Okay, so let's say that I decide to do a deliberate decision, make a deliberate decision, okay, and I do it, but then I've realized that I haven't done it correctly, or I've made a mistake, or I mean, how do I deal with that, or what do I do?
Right, I do get asked that question, and deliberate decisions is not one big decision towards your end goal. You are going to make deliberate decisions all along, and here's what I want you to remember. The Florida Aviation Association, FAA, or Federal Aviation Association, FAA, says that when pilots fly from point A to point B, they are in course correction 95% of the time. That means there is something influencing them to angle away from point B. But if they're going from point A to point B, like you and I want to do in our goals, you have to be okay with course correction. I need to do something a little bit different. Okay, I chose this way, I learned something new, now I'm going to turn back this way. I'm going to take my time, make the decisions that I want to make so that I get to that final B. I don't let turbulence, I don't let frustration, I don't let brick walls come into play. I think about it, I wait, I keep focusing on point B. That's being deliberate towards that goal.
Okay, so I'm guessing that this is something you have to practice to make perfect, or you have to work at it. I mean, it's not something you do and it's like, okay, now I'm done.
Exactly.
Or, right?
I think you're right, because it's a learned skill, because we are our worst critics. Oh, well, I want to go for that, and what do we say? We say, well, I don't know if I can do that. Well, maybe I can't. Maybe I don't really have what it takes to do that. And when you take the first step and you do it and you feel good about it, and then you take the next step and you do it and you feel good about it, it becomes a little bit more of a habit. You realize, well, if I can do that, wow, imagine what would happen if I did that.
Okay, I think I'm getting it. Okay?
Very good, very good.
You know, I'm a slow learner, but I'm getting it. Okay, so I understand that you do public speaking, and I've seen some of your videotapes on your website. You need to check out our website. And you're very good.
Thank you.
So you speak to businesses, and what kind of businesses and organizations do you speak to and for, and how you go about that?
Right. I speak to organizations that want to focus on people. That's the best way to summarize it. Focus on people, whether it's employee morale, whether it's customer service, the frontline staff who want to have a different kind of interaction with their customer. Because along with deliberate decisions, part of my message is everything is personal. Everything we do in life, every decision we make, why we move from here to there, why we take this job and not that job, why we hang out with this person and not this person, it's personal to me. The decisions you make are personal to you. And when you focus on the personal part of the person, when you're interacting in a business or an organization with your members, or maybe with volunteers, or if it is employees, that personal interaction has a tremendous impact on the relationship and then on the results that you hope to see. So deliberate decisions in making people the focus.
Okay. All right, so it's motivational and inspirational, definitely, okay? I could also see this work for even sales organizations,
yes,
or any kind of organization that needs to motivate, inspire, and pump up their employees to make those deliberate decisions to do things in the right order. Is that
absolutely?
That's an ideal
Absolutely.
situation?
The bottom line about that is understanding that it's personal for me too. So if I'm the salesperson, or if I need to have enough confidence in myself that I can set those kind of deliberate goals and make a deliberate difference. If I'm the frontline customer service, I can set those goals and make a deliberate difference in my customers because I feel empowered. And that's what I want to do in my presentations. That's what I want to do when I'm talking to people. I want to help them see how amazing they are and the gifts that they have, and that they shouldn't be hiding them, they should be using them. One step at a time, maybe like you said, little by little by little, but learning that you can do this. Get out there and try it, do it, because you can do better than you think you can.
Okay, great. Can you give me an example of either a type of organization, or even if you're allowed to name the organizations that you've spoken to,
Sure.
and the kind of results that you might have seen from that or they saw from that?
Sure. I have several project management organizations, which you think, project management? But I was asked to speak at one presentation kind of by accident, if you can say. The other speaker wasn't able to speak, and through a contact of a contact of a contact, the beauty of networking, they said, hey, can you do this presentation on the last minute? So I went and spoke to them about being deliberate in their job as a project manager, in the people that they interact with, and not taking for granted that, okay, I'm the project manager, I know all that, but really listening to the strengths of the people. And that really carried over. I spoke at 4 other different project management groups. And then one of the companies, Raytheon, I spoke at Raytheon, and really just the empowerment kind of thing again, and inspiration, motivation, several women organizations. I can't think of them all right now, but really it's surprising how diverse it has been, and most of it has been word of mouth because it's exciting, it's entertaining, and it's a lot of fun. I think one of the things that I bring that does make me distinct in my presentations is I use sign language. I'm a sign language interpreter, and I use sign language in my presentations, and that really draws people in. It's an emotional thing. It's something that people enjoy watching. So I add that into my presentation as another way to inspire, to touch the emotion of the people and say, look, you know, it's not all maybe the fluff that you're thinking. Is get down to the core of who you are, and then who are the people you serve.
Okay. So you do public speaking for engagements and organizations, that kind of thing. Do you work with individuals? And if so, how do you work with an individual? And is it different than you would do in a group situation?
Okay, yes, I do work with individuals, and I do one-on-one coaching, or I do group coaching. And the beauty about that is we cannot distinguish ourselves as an individual in our life or in our business. No, wherever we go, we are an individual. We are one person. And when we are talking to somebody one-on-one, let me say it this way, we will never walk into a business and work with the business. We will always walk into a business and work with an individual. So it's the same kind of thing that applies. When I am talking to other people or talking to groups, I want to talk to them. I want to get their focus on the individual. So if they're talking about what they want to do in their business or what they want to do in their personal life, it's really when those two are in balance, they do well in both settings. When you have your life in balance, where what you feel good about, and in balance where you are in your business and you feel good about that, both are going to thrive. So the idea of working with individuals is setting up a plan, saying, what is your goal? I had one lady that brought in several things that she wanted to do. She mapped them out on 2 big sheets of paper for me, and she said, these are the things that I want to do. So I'm looking through the list, and I see a couple things way down here in the corner. And I'm like, well, what are those? And she goes, oh, well, there's things that I need to take care of. Well, what I helped her do was bring it back to the top and say, those are emotional, those are things that you want to take care of, and you got to bring them back to the top.
Okay.
And created a plan for her.
All right, well, that's great. So if somebody, an individual or a group, wanted to contact you to find out more, maybe they just have questions, they need more answers than what we're able to give tonight, or they would want to hire you for their organization or even as an individual, how would they get a hold of you?
Okay, I would love to talk to you. I think that again, that one-on-one makes a difference. Please call me at 727-776-0459, or please contact me through my website, www.deliberatenation.com.
Okay, that's great, Jill. I personally think everybody needs to just make a deliberate decision to contact you.
I would love it. That would be the great first deliberate decision.
If they do that, it'll be the first step in them helping themselves and you getting the ability to help them. So I want to thank you for being with us this evening. I know it was quick and probably only able to give a little piece of what you really do, but I think that everyone should contact Jill and at least find out more about making deliberate decisions. So that's the end of this segment. We're going to go to a break, and then when we come back, Walt Morey will be having his interview. So, okay, guys, we can go to the break.
Welcome to Tampa Bay Networkers, also known as TBN. I think you will agree that business networking success is all about numbers. The more new people we can meet or network with, the better our chances for business success. When you attend your current networking meetings, do you ever feel like you are collecting the same business cards and listening to the same 30-second commercials week after week without meeting many new people? Well, that can all change when you become a TBN partner. Tampa Bay Networkers has developed a unique formula for networking groups all over the Tampa Bay. The TBN formula is based on honesty and incentive, and it will provide you with an abundance of new networking opportunities like you have never experienced before. Not only does the TBN formula provide you with more networking opportunities, Tampa Bay Networkers will pay you to use the formula. If you would like to put your business in front of more people and get paid to do it, you need to check out Tampa Bay Networkers.
And we're back, and welcome back. This is the second segment of Let's Talk Business Tampa Bay. And tonight, my guest tonight is Bobby Leonardo, who's a healthcare specialist with Health Markets. And we know there's been a lot of turmoil and upheaval in the health market industry in both the individual and as a lot of us see what's coming soon, later this year and next year, is more upheaval in the group markets. And our specialist tonight, our guest tonight, is going to talk more about that as well, because that is what's kind of looming for all of us. So first of all, Bobby, I want to thank you for joining us tonight.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Will.
And I guess my first question to get this ball rolling about healthcare is, now that the enrollment period, the initial enrollment, I think they had all kinds of problems with it, and they were supposed to end March 31st, and he extended it to part of April or whatever. Now that that's over, what are the options that people have for health insurance in the individual market? They can't get it now, I guess, if they didn't get it during the enrollment. So what do they do?
Well, basically, they've got a couple of different choices they can do. There's going to be certain situations, lifestyle changes, where you can get health insurance again. Basically, if you're married, divorced, have a child, lose your job, move out of state, there are situations where you can get health insurance and get the major medical insurance that you're looking for. If you fail to qualify for that, there are programs available called hospital surgical indemnity programs that are very strong. They're not major medical, but they're programs that can get you through to the next enrollment period, which is, by the way, November 15th. So other than those qualifications, you must wait till November 15th or get one of these other affordable plans that are available to people.
I hear all the time, I'm hearing it from business owners all the time now, that group insurance rates are getting higher and higher because they have to cover so much other stuff. Rates are going higher. So what's the small business owner going to do? I mean, what's his solution?
Great question, Walt. Basically, the group market is an unsustainable market. Because of healthcare reform and because of price increases that are going on, the group market was never really designed for groups of 15, 20, 50 people. It was really designed for groups of 1,000 or more. Because when you're in a small pool and you have people who have cancer or heart disease in the pool, basically what happens is your price increases happen more often and increase more dramatically. So what you have is a situation that is not sustainable any longer. And what is offered for business owners is a couple of things. One is something called a program that is defined contribution. And what that does is allow a business owner to actually have 6 levels of pay for his employees. And a program is designed where they're going to get a specific amount each month, and cost can be controlled for a business owner that way. We're also finding that as I go in to see groups, 30 to 40% of the people in the group cannot afford the insurance that's offered to them by the employer. I'm also finding that 60 to 70% of the people in the group basically would qualify for an ACA plan or subsidies on healthcare reform. So what's happening, you have people that are in this group that are trapped with no insurance, no options. The best way to go is to get rid of the group, if it's less than 50 employees, and go with programs that seem to make a lot more sense for the business owner and for the employee.
Okay. So basically what you're saying is those group policy holders, the employees, could probably save money by getting away from the group that's going to continue to go higher and go with a plan. Now, I have a question about that. If they leave, if the company, his employer, cancels that plan, is that an event where they can now go to the ACA plans?
Absolutely. If a program is canceled, or I go in and speak to the business owner and say, here's an option, this makes more sense for you, all those people are now eligible for ACA plans. They can get subsidies if they qualify. If they don't, they can still get major medical coverage. So that really is what's happening now. I had a client call me a couple of weeks ago that had a 28% increase. It just is no longer sustainable for business owners to be able to cover their clients anymore. And obviously, the number is under 50. So if an employer's got less than 50, he doesn't have to offer coverage. But I'm finding a lot of very benevolent business owners who care about their employees, who want to retain them, who want future employees. They're willing to spend money on benefits. This defined contribution is a way to actually make this thing work for everybody and create a win-win scenario.
All right. Now, let me ask you, you've had some experience with this. Can you give me an example of a client that you've been able to help in this situation?
Yes. One of the clients, I work a lot with nonprofits and churches, and we were able to save a small church with 9 employees approximately $24,000 a year. This particular church was paying 100% of the benefits for their employees. We went in and 6 of the 9 employees qualified for healthcare reform. So obviously it knocked the rate down in some cases from $700, $800 a month down to less than $100. Their church was matching 100%, so this was a huge savings for a small group. The larger the group, if you're talking a 20 or 30, 40-man group, you could literally save anywhere from $20,000 to $50,000. The savings is about 50%. Group insurance costs 50% more than individual insurance. So it just makes more sense to go in this direction, Walt.
Makes sense. Okay. Now, I see in this whole enrollment period, there were these people running around calling themselves navigators and all of that. And I know you're a licensed professional in the insurance business, health insurance business. Why should someone use a licensed professional versus one of these navigators that helps them get on the, healthcare.gov site and lead them through it? What do you bring to the table in that regard?
Well, in addition to getting them the best deal and understanding the concepts of health insurance, there are now tax ramifications involved. So this is a very, very serious business. The health side, as we know, had some huge problems. It makes sense for anyone to use a healthcare professional because there are a lot of little ins and outs that can be done by a professional agent. They can also sit down, consult with you, and make sure that you're doing the right things for your family or your business. There's no doubt that having a licensed agent is the absolute way to go, and I would recommend that to anybody, particularly from this time forward.
Now, talking about licensed agents and so forth, and I like to ask this question of all our guests, because as a business coach and advisor, it's important to me that our viewers know who you are and what. So my question is, how are you different from all the other insurance agents? There's a bunch of them, and some of them came out of the woodwork. I didn't know they sold insurance.
Absolutely.
I mean, whatever. What makes you different? How do you separate yourself from the rest of the business?
I basically try to forge a relationship with my client. I have a monthly newsletter. I literally have clients I've had for 17, 18 years that I still have, new family members. I try to stay in touch with them as times change and things change, particularly now with healthcare reform. You really have to be on the lookout for the changes that can be made. I would literally call a client if I knew a new program came out that saved them money, and I do this on a regular basis. It's customer service related. I love to do it. I love helping people. And again, with the advent of all the political storm that's been going on, there's a lot of misinformation and disinformation out there, and you really need to be guided by a professional. It's getting real tricky out there.
And with that being said, I'm going to imagine, I'm just going to ask the question, it just struck me that if for you to be able to help people, it seems to me you have to do some serious studying and reading to keep up on what's going on, to what's the newest and greatest and the trends and so forth. And tell us about that, what you do to stay on top of things.
It's constant. The changes going on in the insurance market are constant. I'm lucky that I'm involved in a large agency with 4,000 agents. Our training is top of the line. We meet with insurance executives on a regular basis. We take online courses on a regular basis. It's a very turbulent time, and there's a lot of information out there that literally is replaced in 6 months. So a good agent really digs in, gets to understand his material, and basically just is in constant contact with his clients. There's no other way with what's going on, Walt.
So if someone in our viewing audience has their insurance canceled at work and their employer just says, okay, I can't afford it anymore, guys, I'm canceling it, what they should do is immediately call you? and say, what do I do now? Or?
Yeah, if a group is canceled, the employees have a certain amount of time that they can actually get coverage, because a group cancellation automatically, you are now able to get ACA insurance, major medical, right away. So you have about a 30 to 60 day window. What I'm trying to do is obviously get that before it happens and meet with the small business owner, giving him all his options. But when that does happen, yes, those employees can get coverage if they do it in time. So again, there's another factor about getting the information as quickly as you can get it.
So even if one of our viewers begins to hear that the employer is thinking about canceling, and the rumor mills and all of that, that'd probably be the best time to call you, because you could probably get in there with the employer to help explain them what his options are, perhaps before they even pull the trigger on that.
Yeah, in a case like that, I would work with the employee, but I would, as soon as I hear of an issue like that, I would want to know who the owner is, that I can personally get in and explain how you have quite a few more options than you think you have.
Okay, so to wrap it up, what are the most important points that you'd like the viewing audience to walk away with tonight? What's the most important things they need to understand walking away from the interview tonight? What do you want them to remember?
The most important thing to know is there are multiple options out there. It's not what you hear on the radio or on TV. Get with a licensed professional agent. There are more options than you can count. And you want to work with a licensed agent who can sit with you, take the time, consult with your family, your business, and yourself, and actually do something that is designed for you. Other than that, it can be a maze out there, and I would definitely suggest you do that.
All right. Well, you've heard it from a health insurance expert right here, what to do. And if you have any questions, feel free to send them in on our website, Let's Talk Business. TampaBay.com. We have a website where you can leave messages for our hosts and so forth, or guests, if you have a question, or if you have a question, a marketing question, or any other kind of question about business for Carl and I, certainly send those in on the website. Again, it's Let's Talk Business-TampaBay.com. And you can send us an email or leave us a question on that site. We'd be glad to answer that question on a future show. So again, Bobby, thank you so much for being our guest tonight.
Thank you, Walt. Appreciate the opportunity.
So much. And we'll be right back. I'll be right back and after the break to wrap up the show in our normal way. See you soon.
Have you ever had the opportunity to refer someone you knew but you didn't have their business card with you? Hi, I'm Bob Terrell, the presentations coach, and I just found this great new free networking and marketing tool that will revolutionize the way you get referrals. It's called mycardlistings.com. It's easy to use and access is free to everyone with an internet connection. With mycardlistings.com, you can search for the best businesses in Tampa Bay and then share them with others right from your cell phone. Upload your card today on mycardlistings.com so others can contact you anytime, anywhere with a call or email directly from your business card listing.
And we're back. And I just want to wrap up the show with a couple of things. First of all, from a networking standpoint, next Tuesday, and we have a new networking event coming up on the 4th Tuesday of every month. The first one we're going to be doing is the 27th of May, and then the 4th Tuesday going forward from there. And it's going to be at the Brick House. So I wanted you to remind you that this coming Tuesday, May 27th, we have it's called the 4th Tuesday Networking After Hours Mixer from 4 to 8 o'clock. At the Brick House, which is at the junction of Route 275 and Del Mabry, exit 41 right there. It's just south of the exit. You can't miss it. So hope to see you all there. And also, as I always do, I want to give out a secret word. Now, the secret word, well, if you're the first one to call me or contact me, and you're not connected with the show or Talkwad Studios in any way, and you give me the secret word, you will get a free $10 ticket. It's $10 to get into next week's Brick House After Hours event. You'll get a $10 ticket into that show, into that networking event. And it includes your first drink, and there's food, and going to be a great time. So again, but you must be the first one that contacts me in any way, by phone, by email, text, with the secret word. And the secret word tonight is Brick House. Secret word is Brick House. So I hope to see you next Tuesday. If you're the first one to call me with the secret word, you will get a free ticket into the 4th Tuesday event next Tuesday. We'll see you next week. We'll have some more guests, and other great information for you about business. I'm Walt Morey, Core Business Solutions. This is Let's Talk Business, Tampa Bay. Have a great night. Thank you.
This program was brought to you by the Internet Broadcasting Organization, setting the standard for new media broadcasting.